Hey you guys, as promised from last week, I said I would do a video on the things I did not care for in Ghana. Last week I did a video about the things I really enjoy about Ghana. And I forgot to put on their food as one of the things I really enjoy. Um, they make very delicious dishes. But anyway, this video is about the things I do not like about Ghana, or I wish they could improve on. And one of the things is lights, the electricity. The electricity is out quite frequently, especially at our store. At home it hasn't been so bad, but at the store it's been out about every day. And earlier I started to shoot the video and it showed where the lights are out. But they have been since turned back on. So it's really spotty. But I'd say out of this week, today is Thursday, and the lights have been out 3 out of the 4 days. I mean, it's early on Thursday morning, so hopefully it stays on for the rest of the day, but it was out earlier this morning. And I decided also to shoot this video because, as you can see, it is slow in the store right now, which obviously makes for a good time for shooting the video. Anyway, I digress. So yes, again, when the lights are out, of course, it messes with the internet. You don't have any internet. You don't have any AC. Your security camera doesn't work or anything like that. So it's very, very frustrating when the lights are out. Oh, and you guys are probably going to get familiar with my little, I call it the cozy corner, where I sit near the front door of my store, welcoming guests when they come in, or customers rather, when they come in the store. And also what's interesting is across the street, their electricity never seems to go out. I don't know why. It seems like it's just on this side of the street. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if they're on a different power grid or what. But at any rate, this is one of the things that I find very frustrating about living in Ghana. When you're at home, actually at my house, the lights haven't gone out. It's just over in this area. So, again, that's the number one frustrating thing I find about living in Ghana. Another thing I find to be irritating about some of the things I experience in Ghana is the land buying process. That has been quite trying, and it's really frustrating because it doesn't have to be. I think part of the reason why it's so frustrating, you can find yourself experiencing or facing unnecessary roadblocks that if the system was more structured and organized, you would not have to deal with. And it doesn't help that there are so many people out there looking to dupe you, looking to take your money, sell you property that doesn't even belong to them either. So as far as, vetting the property that you're getting, that's very intensive and extensive. So you have to really mind your P's and Q's, cross your T's, so to speak, dot your I's, in making sure that the land is owned by the people who are selling you the land. Another aspect of the land buying process that people find irritating is dealing with the land guards. And I was not familiar with that term, land guards, until I moved here and started looking into buying land. And we were actually confronted with some land guards when we went out to look at our property one day. Actually, a couple of times they confronted us. But after my husband spoke with them, they realized that he was not one to be messed with, so to speak. So they did not, encroach upon our land anymore, or tried asking us questions or harassing us in any type of way. But one gentleman, which is a land developer, I really liked how he described what land guards are. And his name is Mr. Adu Francis King. And he says this in an article that was written by News Ghana. And it says the young CEO of the fastest growing real estate company in a district and its surrounding areas said the police should put in more efforts to stop the continuous existence of land guards in the country, especially developing areas within the greater Accra region. And he also said that he said such acts of lawlessness and indiscipline on the part of individuals who, under the pretext of protecting their lands, without them having any documentary proof or backing, mobilizing young men and resourcing them with all kinds of offensive weapons to cause mayhem and terrorize innocent people, immensely undermines law and order and must be dealt with accordingly by the police. So there are people that actually hire these land guards to protect their land, and a lot of times the people that hire them don't even have documentation that the land even belongs to them. And this is also something that I've heard fellow Ghanaians say this, that even when people buy lands with the right documents, it becomes increasingly difficult to build as a result of the menace of land guards, who not only intimidate them, but also attack them with machetes, guns, and other offensive weapons. Many people who have acquired pieces of land through their sweat have had to abandon them because of threats to their lives. And this is what Mr. King said. That is so true. You can actually purchase land legally. You have all your documents, and then you have these land guards who are encroaching upon your land. It's really unfair that sometimes you can actually you have to fight. You have to spend money defending your own property from people who want to take it away from you, and they can do it if they have more money than you, because you have to go to court. And a lot of people lose their land because they don't have enough money to defend their land by paying the lawyers. If they run out of money to pay the lawyers and the other people have more money, then they can actually take the land from you. So that is one thing that I find very frustrating. It's sad, for lack of a better word, that people have to go through this. People who work very hard to acquire land actually can lose it if they don't have enough money to defend their property if someone else wants it. So this next one, I'm sure, is a new person problem, but it is the lack of street signs. And you know that could be somewhat trying on a person, especially a new person. The cities are pretty good. Like the city of Accra is good. They have a lot of street signs there. But when you get outside of the cities, more or less into the suburbs, that's where you find there are not as many street signs. And sometimes even when there is a street sign, the locals aren't familiar with the street sign. They're more familiar with landmarks. So even if you know the street name and you call it out, they still may be like, I'm not sure. For instance, there's a road that leads to Abri, and it goes from Abri to Accra. And where I'm at, it's called, I think, Abri Road. Abri Road. I never know how to pronounce that, say that word. Aburi, Abri. But anyway, if you're talking about that main road, a lot of them don't know what you're talking about. But on a map and whatnot, it has the correct name. And if you call it by the correct name, they're not familiar with that. At least some of the people that I've come into contact with. Not all of them may be like that. So, and then the problem with the landmarks is if you're new, you may not have seen the landmarks. So you really want to use a street name if they have one. And I noticed too, a lot of times they'll talk about junctions, which is, of course, another word for intersection. So they may say, go down to the third junction and take a right. The problem with that is, if that junction, they're speaking about maybe a dirt road, and you may think to yourself, well, I'm sure they're not talking about that. That's a dirt road. They're probably talking about the next paved road. No, they're talking about that dirt road. That dirt road counts too. So you could end up lost because in your mind you're thinking about paved roads. So kind of makes things difficult. So it definitely would help if there were more street signs. Another point is there doesn't seem to be anyone abiding by the traffic laws. And even more worse than that is that no one is enforcing them. In my other video, I talked about lack of police presence being a good thing. Well, this is the negative side of it. And I seriously don't know if half the people have actually acquired legitimate driver's licenses, or, well, and what I mean by a legitimate driver's license is that they've actually taken a written test and a road test and passed. I know a lot of things are up for sale in Ghana, and driver's licenses are one of them. So many of them actually have not taken a driver's license test. They actually just bought their driver's license. Therefore, they have no idea what the rules of the road are. And it is very evident by the way they drive. Stop signs are not even yield signs. They may not even slow down where there is a stop sign. Just kind of go on into traffic, merge on into traffic. Even when there seems to be not even an opening for them to merge into traffic. I mean, I've seen some rules that have been broken that I thought were unimaginable. But they find a way to do it. I remember I was coming out of, I was getting off work, and I was going down a one-way street. So the traffic is going to my right. You know, I need to turn right when I come out of my parking lot. So I'm looking to the left to make sure no cars are coming. Well, as I'm getting ready to go out into traffic, a car comes up from my right side, which I had not been looking because, as I said, it was a one-way street. So a car comes up from the right side driving that almost hit me because I was about to merge on out into traffic. So, again, why are they driving down a one-way street? No one there to enforce it and give that person a ticket for doing that. So, again, police aren't readily available in times when you need them and in times when you don't. My final point I will cover is time. If you are a stickler for time, Ghana may not be for you. As I said before in another video, Ghanaians are very laid back. They don't respect time at all. And it's just their culture, and that's part of the reason why people are drawn to Ghana, is because of that laid back vibe that they have going on. But again, if punctuality is a pet peeve of yours when people aren't punctual, it may be a little difficult to handle Ghana. So, for example, many times my husband and I have made arrangements to meet with people to help us out with things we need done for our business, or even in our house, or even with land. And you tell them, or they tell you even, they're going to meet you at a certain time. 9 times out of 10, they're late. And I'm not talking 15 minutes late. I'm talking like an hour late. When they say they're coming, what they mean is, yeah, I know, I'm going to get there. I am coming. But they don't tell you when they're coming. So their coming can be very broad. When they say I'm coming, they could be getting out of bed and telling you they're coming like, yeah, I know, I'm going to be on my way. But they're not coming yet. They're not on their way yet. So we're used to when someone says I'm coming, that means they're on their way. doesn't mean the same thing here. So, and I'm saying, like, at a minimum, they can be up to an hour late. So if you're invited to a function and they tell you to show up at like 5, safe to say you could show up at 6 and no one still may not be there. The rest of the crew, the rest of the guests that were invited may not still be there. So you can take it as I will, I will arrive on time as I'm accustomed to doing, or will I adapt to Ghanaian ways and show up an hour or two later. At this time, I'd like to add a video clip of a friend I'm speaking with from Nigeria who says they're actually worse with time than Ghanaians. Check it out. Let's see. All right, so, I shot the video about Ghana time, but I'm in the car with a friend, and she's from Nigeria, and she actually said Nigerians are worse than Ghanaians. So, what was it you said about Nigerians and their time?
No, Nigerians are very bad with timing. Nigerians go to a party 1 hour before the end of the party. They like a grand entrance.
They want a grand entrance. Yes. So, although most of the guests could have left, if it's an hour only left, some guests will have left already.
Yes.
So, they're making their grand entrance with like maybe 50% of the people remaining.
Exactly.
So what kind of grand entrance is that?
Okay. We're only early when it involves money.
Okay, so Nigerians are only early when it involves money.
Yes.
That's hilarious. Okay. The only time, and I think that goes for Ghana too. That might go for any country, actually. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're late for any reason, you will be on time when it comes to picking up your money.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's all I got for you. I know I could name some more, but I'm going to keep it right there. Don't want to turn anybody off, and at the end of the day, I still advise people to come to Ghana, especially to visit. I'm talking about things you may find difficult living here, but to visit, you wouldn't find it to be a problem at all. Okay? All right. So see you guys next time. Oh yeah. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share the video. I'm almost to 300 subscribers, and I thank you guys, but keep sharing my videos. Once you share them with other people and ask them to subscribe, that grows the channel. So I'm 293, so I just need 7 more subscribers. So please help me out to get to 300, and then from there, we'll go even higher. All right? See you guys next time. Bye-bye.